decision. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta go.
Oh, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the College Cops Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Stack Delbridge. Javaris here. Stack Delbridge. Trevor in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's going on with it, man?
Hey, I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving. I know I did. It was good to be around family. I know Stackz can attest to the same. It's always good to be in the warm confines of family, man. We are huge.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it, man.
We are huge believers of spending time with family. So of course we didn't give y'all an episode last week just to get a chance to really take that rest and come back rejuvenated and ready to rock and roll like we are right now. So a crazy rivalry week.
Yeah, don't ask me to say it because I'm gonna mess it up.
We've had the hardest time trying to pronounce this word for like over a few weeks now. So yeah, rivalry week. Rivalry week. I feel like we struggled with this last season when
the week of the rivals. The week of the rivals.
The week of rivals.
It does gonna sound like a W, all kind of stuff. I got there.
I'm telling you.
But it was definitely a crazy weekend in college football, man.
Mm-hmm. It was. I mean, of course, it again. I'm sad because the season is coming to an end. I mean, we're about to approach conference championships. You know, the layout and the format of the 12 team playoffs is now being in our midst.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah,
but
man,
this is what I've been saying: more football, more time. More teams that probably wouldn't have been in it last year are having an opportunity to compete for one. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse now. It's like none. You know what I'm saying? This has been the craziest season of college football I've seen. Like, you've got everybody falling short once or twice. So you got teams that should be teams not being teams. Teams that historically have not been great, beating teams that historically have been great.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's been a roller coaster of a season. Hate to see it end, but the fashion that this season was and how it's ended and with all the excitement, you can't ask for anything better. You know?
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, again, now that we're getting to the nitty gritty, we're starting to see a lot of the coaching carousel going on. We're starting to see players enter the transfer portal. We're starting to see big time players enter the transfer portal. So this is where that big just shakeup starts to happen within college football. And I mean, that's what makes it exciting. I mean, for the people that are like, oh, well, I think they should wait or there should be limitations. You wouldn't put limitations on the pros. Like, so, I mean, if you want the guys to really get adjusted to how, life as a professional athlete is going to be, why not let them get it now in college? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not let them get, why not let them have that freedom? We already letting them have the freedom of being paid, so let them have that opportunity to make decisions on their own. We always say, oh, well, they're 18, they're 19. So what? I mean, I think we both have seen some pretty mature 18 and 19-year-olds. But apparently a lot of the conversation now, well, you're putting too much money in their hands. Hey, if they blow it, they blow it, you gotta be responsible with it. So this is a time for them to learn and trust their instincts and do what they have to do. So
honestly, from how it looks now, it's kinda like the people that are getting money put in their hands are the people that are actually balling and making the name for themselves. Like, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Jalen Milroe. You know what I'm saying? All of these people have made a name for themselves or are attached to a name and then made something of their own. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not like you graduated high school and you just automatically out the gate, like, yo, you got to pay me $1 million before I come here. No, you know what I'm saying? We're going to see what you do first. Like, that's kind of how it feels. Like, I mean, because Travis Hunter wasn't making that at Jackson State. Shedeur wasn't making that at Jackson State. And then now they're in Colorado. They've become better players than they were before, even though they were good before. So, I mean, Yes, I mean it's not. I mean for the people that say that they're making too much, I don't think they're making too much. I think the right players are making the right amounts. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
now if you a third string making $3-4 million, then that's when I got a problem. Because I mean, like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? You're not even seeing the field for real. You know what I'm saying? You just basically getting paid $3 million to go to school. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so
Yeah.
so
But
that's
I
how I
mean,
feel about it. But
and
you
I
know,
mean that's understandable. And I mean, you're definitely gonna have your people that are like, I don't think that's going to help or benefit them in any type of way, shape, form, or fashion. But again, I mean, I think there's people in their circles or like advisors that are genuinely wanting the best for them to be able to succeed, not only as a professional athlete, but as a U.S. As a taxpaying citizen. So
right?
but yeah, but we're not going to waste any more time here. Let's go ahead and get into the first game. The probably one of the best games that you will catch on sliced bread in a way. Besides Auburn and Texas A&M, let's talk about this Georgia and Georgia Tech game, brother.
What a
As
what a game!
what a game! What a heart attack for me. What a just that was genuinely a nail biter. Like you talk about nail biter games, that is a nail biter game that I do not want to experience again because again, I genuinely got a chance to feel what it felt like for Auburn fans going at it with Texas A&M 2 weeks ago, and I don't ever want to feel that again.
Yeah,
Like
and
it,
y'all went into 8. We only went into 4.
yeah, yeah,
But I will say that proves indubitably, and I don't know, I probably messed that word out, but that proved without a shadow of a doubt that the talent gap is closing. Because I don't think no one had Georgia Tech competing like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then to think about it. Georgia Tech lost their entire secondary in the same game, pretty much. You lose like 5 cornerbacks. You're down to your second and third string DBs. So for them to come in the game and actually compete in that game, that says a lot. Not saying that the starters would have made a complete difference, but that's hard to do where your entire secondary is hurt and the backups come in and they actually hold their own
yeah.
against a stout Georgia team. Like, I mean, and some miscues on Georgia helped them. A lot of miscues on Georgia's part helped them a lot. But they capitalized. I mean, they played their butts off. I have a whole lot of respect for that Georgia Tech team. Literally one play away from making, you know what I'm saying, I want to say history, knocking off Georgia that highly ranked, and you know, I, just hats off to them. And hats off to Georgia for fighting
Yeah.
back. Like, I mean, they could have easily gave in and said, nah, you know, we still in. You know, we'll still get to the championship. We'll get to the playoffs. But yeah, kudos to them for fighting back.
So a few things, and you're correct. I mean, overall, great game. Just to see two alumni go at it for their alma mater with Coach Brent Key and Coach Kirby Smart. I mean that was literally a fight to the finish, and I mean you could truly see just the overwhelming emotion that Coach Brent Key had after the game because he wanted to get that win for his alma mater for Georgia Tech. I mean, he's played for Georgia Tech, so he definitely wanted to get that knockout win to pretty much put the icing on their season. I mean, they had a pretty good season thus far. Knocking off Miami and able to knock out Florida State at the beginning of the season, and that Georgia win would have been the icing on the cake for Coach Brent Key and just to see the turnaround that they made, from their from their last head coach to now with Brent Key. I mean, it's a complete 180 in my opinion, coming from a Georgia fan. So I'm
Yeah,
truly proud of that program and just the turnaround it's made. I've been a huge fan of Haynes King this year. I've been a huge fan of Jamal Haynes this year. Those guys are just absolute menaces. I mean, dude, Jamal Haynes had me worried in the first 15. Not even the first 15. The first
man.
minute.
Yeah, he came out the gate
The first
smoking.
minute. The game just started. the game just started, and this man is finding his way out of tackles. But then
shifty,
yeah,
slippery, find a small.
yeah. And the thing is, it kind of goes back to what Georgia's defense has been struggling with all season: tackling, um, man, tackling, just secondary issues. It's brother. I can make a whole podcast
Yeah,
just listing issues.
on Georgia Tech son, they find ways to get
Yeah.
it done. That's what it felt like to me. Like their game plan to me, I think they strayed away from it early because they figured out that Haynes King was just gonna be that dude. Like I think they wanted to air it out a lot more, and then they realized, oh, they can't stop him. So they went to that a lot, and they relied more on the run game. In previous they had, but that was because Haynes King was not 100%. So I think they wanted to take the air out of the ball because I think they thought Georgia knew that about them, and they were going to have some shots down the field, and they did have some, but I think they realized pretty early, like, oh, they can't stop him, and they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't. They stopped him one time, and thankfully for Georgia, that was the one time that they needed.
Yeah.
On the fumble recovery. So, yeah, definitely Georgia. Moving forward, they definitely can't get behind the 8 ball like that. Early on, and definitely they have to pick it up at their pace like they normally do, fresh out the second half. If you're gonna get down like that and be a second half team, you got to come out second half smoking.
Yeah.
And I think for them, it took them longer than that third quarter. I think they didn't really figure it out till mid third quarter, and then that's when they started getting it. But at that point, Georgia Tech's cooking too. They haven't slowed down either. We didn't see. Normally, we see Georgia dominate second half, but we didn't quite see that, as early as we normally would see that from Georgia. Because
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech, credit to them, they figured out something and they stuck to it. And they just came up a 2-point conversion short in overtime number 8. Like that is it. Like what I'm saying, they bounced back from the miscues and everything, but Georgia has to. They got a lot of cleaning up to do before they see Texas again. Because I don't think this is the same Texas that we've been accustomed to seeing.
Yeah.
That's gonna play Georgia, in my opinion. I think they're gonna be pissed off. Of course, they have a great secondary. Yeah, and they already played Georgia, so they see what they're trying to do. They know who they got to worry about. They know. Yeah, it's hard to beat a team twice. So I think Texas gonna figure out a way, in my opinion. But
Absolutely. And and I know we definitely are going to preview some of the conference championships, but can I just go back real quick to this Georgia Tech game before we move over to the next game? I have to talk about this real quick. The ability to catch the ball is so pivotal in a football game. And
yeah,
again, it's been another miscue for Georgia this season, where with our receivers' inability to catch the ball. Like we had so many big play opportunities that game, and our receivers just had fumble fingers, and it burns me to the core because it's like, as a wide receiver, you are literally, your only objective is to catch the ball. Catch the ball. Like, just catch. And so many drop passes. And so many just inconsistencies throughout the game, really throughout the whole season, shakes me to my core. Like, I'm just like, brother, catch the ball. Just catch the ball. Go upfield. Like, our receivers are too talented to just be dropping wide open passes like that, man. Even in overtime, and granted, I know the ball to Arian Smith was tipped, I think, by Dylan Bell. And that's kind of not his fault, but at the same time, man, oh my God, that could have literally sealed the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jug Machine this week. I need Jug Machine. Like I need every receiver on that Jug Machine, man. Like I need straight hands. I just work on these hands this week, man. Like I don't know what more I can say, brother, because that was just too much, man. We that receiving core, brother, it struggled this year. Struggled. So that was my only thing, man. Other than
No, I
that,
mean, and you're right. I mean, they have, you know, I'm a little biased, but that ain't their only job is to catch the ball. But they definitely had some great opportunities that they should have brought down. A lot of them,
mhm.
actually. Those you definitely have to catch. You gotta, you know what I'm saying. But again, they were able to bounce back from it. You know what I'm saying. I mean, uh, yeah. I mean, the story's got to be them to catch the ball, be more consistent. Um, yeah, they definitely have to get what you like to call Baby Brock and more involved.
Yeah,
He
Oscar
definitely,
Delp.
yeah, he definitely did not the times that they went to him, he actually did very well. And the times they went away, it was just like it wasn't as consistent. But they definitely got to figure out ways to get him involved. I don't know if he's hurt or what. I don't know. I don't know if the game plan was to I don't know limit him or whatever. I don't know, but they definitely got to get him more involved. Um, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I think that if they can clean those things up, and that line definitely has to step up too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it it's not much that Georgia has to clean up. They just have to be more consistent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I just hope that they don't come into this Texas game that when they play in the SEC championship with the mindset that we figured out a way to win. We're resilient. We're Georgia. We're gonna beat them because we beat them before. Because if that's the case, it's gonna be a long night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you should be mad as a Georgia player and fan that it went 8 overtimes because it shouldn't have went 8 overtimes. You know, it shouldn't have even went to overtime
Right.
with the talent that Georgia has over Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech just literally had more grit and fight and want to in the first 4 quarters, and then in overtime they said, okay, y'all give us something, we gonna give y'all something. We gonna stop y'all gonna stop us. You know what I'm saying? They just would not go away.
Yeah.
You know, and literally one play away from the biggest upset of most of those players' lifetime. So yeah, Georgia just has to be better, more consistent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Definitely have to be able to stop the run, tackle, things like that. Yeah, I mean secondary definitely needs some work too. They have to be more consistent across the board as well. I saw a lot of broken plays there from them. Well, a few
Mm-hmm.
that could have been exploited had it been a different situation, meaning a different offense or whatever. But I think they'll be ready. I think Kirby's gonna have them ready. I definitely think that is a good game for them to have going into the conference championship against Texas because now you see you can't take no days off with
Right.
anybody, no matter how bad you think you're gonna beat them or how bad you should beat them. So yeah, what a game! What a game!
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, man. Hopefully they get it done in that conference championship. Let's move over to Colorado and Oklahoma State, brother. What a game. What a game for Colorado. I can't say too much for Oklahoma State.
Well,
The really the
but
biggest thing the biggest thing for Oklahoma State is just the downfall. Like this is a team that played in the conference championship last season. And just to see just the absolute just bottom pits of hell this team has went to this season is just actually kind of like mind blowing because I mean you still have Alan Bowman, you still have Ollie Gordon who just oh my god like I still don't know like it's almost like this man had the what's the stuff the from the what's that movie the Michael Jordan movie with the Looney Tunes
Oh, Space Jam.
Space Jam. Yeah, he had the magic stuff literally just taken
Man, the
out of.
secret sauce.
Yeah, the secret stuff just literally just evaporated from this man this season, and it's really heartbreaking to see because he was once like a top rated receiver, like going into the draft if he would have went last year. And but yeah, man, it was really crazy to see. But on the other hand, man, let's talk about this man Travis Hunter with dang near what was it 200? What was it 200 and that brother? He had so many yards. They're not even showing it on the stat line. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, 3 tutties, a pick.
Yeah, he had
You
three
know what I'm saying?
touchdowns,
And a whole bunch of yards receiving.
a,
I
a
mean, he
whole
balled
lot.
out. He showed the whole arsenal. He showed how he could be a playmaker on defense and make big time interceptions. He showed that he could run routes, get open, make the tough catch, and the catches on defenders. I mean,
Yeah.
what a game to put a stamp on his Heisman campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What a game to pretty much outside of the bowl game that they have put a stamp on the end of his career as a Colorado Buffalo and a collegiate athlete. So I mean, for both sides, for Shador and Travis Hunter, I mean, let's not forget Shador was the one throwing it to him, and he
Yeah.
had 400 something yards
Yeah.
passing. So I mean, for that those two right there, I mean, what a problem they're gonna be for people on Sundays. Now the big question is how does the NFL handle Shador? Do they allow him to play both sides as a number one option,
Mm-hmm.
or what? Or does he pick a side? I mean, I personally think he should play DB just because I think that he would stand out more as a DB. You know what I'm saying? Because we got 1,000,003 great receivers and not as many great DBs, but it's me personally. But I think whichever one he decides to do, whether it's both sides or whatever, I think he'll be great at it and he'll do it in Travis Hunter fashion. But I mean, not much to talk about this game besides them
Yeah.
just balling out and
Yeah, this was just not a great game for Oklahoma State, and let me not forget to mention Lejante Wester as well because he did. I said Trav had almost 200, but it was actually Lejante Wester with 175 yards and two tutties. So
a
yeah,
beast.
man. I mean, this was pretty much cut and paste game for Colorado. Unfortunately, they won't be playing in the conference championship, but they'll still have a bowl game. So we'll see where they land in a few weeks from now, who their opponent will be. But yeah, man, I mean, they made that turnaround this year from only winning 4 games last season.
Right,
So
right. And
that's
that's what
that's
I wanted to
pretty.
see. That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
wanted
pretty
to see. I
big.
wanted to see them actually put a
Hmm.
campaign together and win some games, make a
Yeah.
bowl game. You know what I'm saying? Win big games.
Hmm.
Be in the conversation for the conference championship. Or let alone make it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's what I want. I wasn't saying he was gonna make, you know what I'm saying, the championship game, the national championship game. I didn't say, you know, that he should make the playoffs. I'm just saying, he had the potential to make playoffs this year, but with the roster you got, I think you could. He could
Yeah.
have, but it fell short. But he proved something right. I mean, he turned that program around within the span of
Mhm.
2 years. So can't
Yeah.
be mad at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Really looking forward to seeing how that Heisman campaign race goes. Also, let's add that we'll just hit on the Boise State, Oregon State. Yeah, Ashton Jeanty, 226 yards, one tutty. Yeah, man, just was running out of his mind. So
Yeah, they start loading him up with carries. I just don't understand why you don't load him
yeah,
up with carries every
and
game.
it's so funny because we were actually able to watch. Of course, shout out YouTube TV. We were able to watch both of the games side by side in a way, and just seeing it was almost like Hunter and Jeanty knew this was the game that that the Heisman voters really was gonna look at, like that last game of the season. They got a ball out by all means, and it was like every ball that was getting literally sent their way, so they had to go crazy with whatever they had. So, but yeah, shout out to those guys. Really looking forward to seeing how that Heisman race ends up. I think I voiced who I would like to see win, but I think I have a feeling of who would win. So yeah,
So put a stamp on it again. Who
I
you
would
want to
like
see?
to see Genty win it, but I'm pretty sure Trav is going to definitely seal it this year. I mean, Trav is just playing unbelievable ball. So yeah, I think Trav will end up getting it though. Let's move over. I think we're good for Friday. I hope I'm not missing a game from Friday. Yeah, we had a good Friday slate. I'm not talking about Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not.
business was handled.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, now granted, business almost was handled going towards Mississippi State side of the ball, but that's neither here nor there.
yeah. I mean, Ole Miss knew they weren't making playoffs. They just trying to get
Yeah,
out of this week.
yeah. Do you want to go? You want to go A&M Texas first, and then hold you till later, or you want to go ahead and knock you out?
We gonna test it. Go ahead and test
Okay.
it.
All right. Let's talk about A&M in Texas, man. First off, what an atmosphere in Kyle Field. Of course, we kind of knew how this. I had a feeling Texas was going to win. I just didn't know by how much. I mean, A&M is not a team to be taken lightly, but at the same time, um, I was really proud of the effort that freshman quarterback for A&M, Marcel, yeah, Marcel, right? Yeah, Marcel Reed, yeah, Marcel Reed. Man, I mean, he did what he could. This is his first time playing in the Lone Star Showdown. This is the first time the Lone Star Showdown has came back in some years. So I mean, for the effort that he gave in his first time playing in a game like this, you can't do anything but applaud it. I mean, you only lose by what 10 points to dang near the number one team in the country with Texas. You did what you could. So
Right. And I mean, and Texas got a lot to clean up too. Like
yeah,
a lot to clean up. I mean,
yeah,
a lot to clean up. The offense got to be. To me, it just seems like the offense don't have a lot of explosive plays and things like that. I mean,
mm,
everything is short passes, relying on receivers to make their own plays. So I mean, yeah, I mean, they've got some things that they got to iron out before they get to the conference championship if they want a shot at beating Georgia. Because I
yeah,
mean, it's kind of crazy that Texas is going in ranked higher than Georgia, and a lot of people are saying that Georgia's still going to win this game. So I mean, it's kind of crazy that you almost feel like an underdog when you are ranked higher. So I mean, they had Texas. I mean, Georgia was their first big test, and now it's going to be the test that gets them prepared for the playoffs. So yeah, I mean, Texas played good. Arch Manning did his thing. He got in there and made a big play. Yours was yours. You know, I just got to see the consistency. I mean, I guess
mm,
I was trying to see them score more points. So
yeah,
but I mean, a win is a win. You got out
for
of it. You
sure.
made it to the conference championship your first year being in the SEC. No easy slate by no stretch at all. Let alone SEC especially, but let alone any conference making it to a conference championship. Your first season in that conference is no small feat. So um, definitely shout out to them.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it's definitely going to be cool to see what Texas brings to the table this coming Saturday. And I just remember I cannot forget about another game before we get to yours. Um, so yeah, Texas went into a hostile environment at Kyle Field, and came away with the win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And now they're going to be playing for the SEC championship again. This game was to determine who will be playing against Georgia in the SEC championship. So shout out to Texas for getting the W. But yeah, let's move over to this absolute catastrophe that happened that happened in Columbus, Ohio, with Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah. Ryan Day's probably last year being a
He I put it on Facebook, and I probably should have said it on more platforms, but let's be completely real here, right? As much as we want this man out, which he will be, they're going to see how far they go in the playoffs before he gets fired.
Right,
There is
right.
no
The only
reason.
way he
Yeah,
stays his job is if he wins a national championship. Point
yeah,
blank. Period.
yeah. And I mean,
I
honestly,
ain't saying just show up. I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
win.
yeah. But at the same time, we know it probably won't happen this year. It's not. I mean, Oregon again, I'm not saying no team has looked dominant to me this year, but I'm saying like Oregon is more than likely slated to win the national championship unless a team just comes out of the woodworks and just puts their foot on the gas in the playoffs and says, "All right, we're not playing no more." You know, we kind of played around in the regular season, but now we're in the playoffs. We finna handle business. But until then, I'm thinking Oregon is probably going to come away with the national championship this year. Like that's just genuinely my
And I'm not mad at that.
yeah.
But I mean, let's not forget they've struggled at times this year against teams.
Absolutely,
You know, so I mean,
absolutely.
nobody to me has like across the board look like dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can name me one, I would love to see it. You know, but I haven't seen anybody that just looked completely dominant from the beginning of the season till now. Everyone has taken a dip and came back up, and struggled and came back up, and everybody.
Yeah,
So I mean, I like to see it. I like to see it, but yeah, I mean, but as far as Ohio State and Michigan goes, um, yeah, I mean, Michigan just had Ohio State's number. They had them figured out. You know what I'm saying? Like as they've had them figured out for the last 4 years. Like you've been a coach how long, and you have only beat them like what once,
brother. At
one
this point, I
time.
don't
Like I
even.
mean, come on, bro.
But at the same time, you, God, the way Michigan has struggled this season, like
Right?
Michigan
You
went
were
7 and
what 18 point favorites?
yes. Everybody in the country, everybody in the U.S. of A. had Ohio State winning this game just based on the performance that Michigan has put on this year. And you mean to tell me Michigan still found a way to win this game? Are you serious? Like, come
Right.
on, brother. Like that don't make a lick of sense. Like a lick. And I mean, we go around talking about how much money was spent on this team, and y'all lose the biggest
They
game of
just
the season.
they let you know it ain't about how much you
Yeah.
put, money you put. It's about the team you put
Mhm.
together. Meaning, when I say that is, it ain't about you going to spend $1 million. I can spend $1 million on a turd. It's still a turd, right? You know what I'm saying? But if I go get something that's really good, and I
Yeah.
say, oh, I'm gonna put this receiver here, because they have good qualities. They're a team player,
Hmm.
quarterback, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? That is a winning formula. You don't
Right.
have to have the $3 million receivers, and you don't have to have all that. You know what I'm saying? But that just tells me that it's coaching. Because I know people are gonna say, "Well, Ryan Day is not the one on the field." No, he's not. But he's the one preparing them to go into battle. And if you're not prepared to go into battle, I don't care how good you are, you're not gonna succeed on the field. You know what I'm saying? So he's the one preparing them for all this. And then you can say his record's been good. I mean, yeah, but not when it matters the most. Like you lose to Michigan all the time, and Michigan's not been good this year. That's no secret. You lose to them all the time, and then you beat up on teams you're supposed to beat up on. But when you get somebody that got equal talent or better talent, you just all of a sudden disappear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You make it all the way to the national championship, and then you lose. And you know what I'm saying? And you had a talented roster then. You've had all the type of talent in the world you can have. You know what I'm saying? Like from the quarterback position, then you make it to the playoffs. You lose to Georgia. You had C.J. Stroud. You had Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, you had a squad. You know what I'm saying? So you can't beat the. You can't keep saying it is the players when it's different rotations and it's different. You know what I'm saying? And y'all paid all this money for these players and stuff like that. You gotta.
We're still recording. You good?
But yeah. So
You good?
yeah. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
We
Ryan
lost the
is
train
out
of
of there.
thought.
Ohio State just couldn't get it done. Michigan looked
Yeah.
good. This is the best
Mhm.
they've looked all year, and they had every right to plant that goddamn flag. You balled your butt off, played your butt off. Ohio State got mad because they didn't finish the job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can get mad that they planted the flag all you want to, but you would have won. They wouldn't have planted it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't agree with the players getting maced and stuff on the field. They should not have gotten that happen. But Ohio State, you gotta do better. You gotta do better.
And I mean, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to say it, and it's going to be some Ohio State fans that probably come at me. You know what? So be it. If you mean to tell me that Kyle McCord can transfer to Syracuse and put up the year he's had, and now you're stuck with Will Howard, and Will Howard is not equally as great, then what is the real issue? And like you said earlier, it's not the players on the field. It has to be coaching. Like, I mean, Will Howard only put up 175 yards. Let me tell you how many passing yards Michigan's Davis Warren put up. 62 passing yards. 62. And I don't even think he threw a single passing touchdown.
Right.
But when you have a receiving core like Ohio State does, Emeka Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith, Tate, like you have studs all around. You even had Ole Miss's running back, Quinshon Judkins, transfer. For what reason, I still cannot tell you. And I mean, you lose the biggest game of the season. I mean, Quinshon Judkins even said himself, "Oh, I wanted to play in this game. That's why I transferred to Ohio State, because I want to play on television. I want to play in big games like this." I don't know what to tell you, brother. I mean, you just lost the big game by 3 points, literally a field goal. So I don't know, man. But honestly, I'm right along with other Ohio State fans. I think it's time for Ryan Day to go ahead and pack up that office and go ahead and find new employment, because it's just not gonna happen. I mean, 4 years in a row, and then not even that, you lose to a first year head coach with Sharon Moore. I mean,
Right.
it's just, I don't know, man. That's
Right. Like, again,
depressing. That's depressing.
it's redundant at this point. It's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
point,
It's
it's
crazy.
more than about just winning the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And other points is now it's about you beating the teams you're supposed to beat, and beating the teams that like it's kind of in between. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you gotta win these big games. You go undefeated all regular season you want to, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta win your rivalry games, and you gotta win in the playoffs, and you gotta win your conference. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these are the things that get you to championships. These are the things that
Absolutely.
make coaches legendary. These are
Mm-hmm.
the coaches we remember, the ones that win the championship, that get past their rival, have a winning record against their rival. Come November, nobody's worried because the team is going to be prepared. Team is prepared, they make mistakes, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But the team is not prepared and they make mistakes, that's a whole other thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State was not prepared for Michigan. But Michigan was prepared for Ohio State. Michigan said, okay, we might not be as great as y'all right now, but we finna beat y'all right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had that mindset. And and the
Mm-hmm.
numbers showed, and then the score reflected it.
Right. Absolutely.
So
And I also need to add too. At the time of this recording, we also have the college football rankings being on ESPN right now as we speak. So I know we'll definitely be posting that later on or tomorrow. When everything is finalized. But yeah, man, I definitely don't see Ohio State staying at number 2. They will probably be dropping.
sure.
Yeah, that's just unacceptable from Ryan Day and Ohio State. Let's see here. Yeah, brother, I think we can go ahead and move over to the Iron Bowl.
Well,
Um
I mean,
oh, well.
some great moments, not to say the least. defense shows spurts of being dominant, making big play turnovers. They got an interception, I think 2 fumble recoveries, especially in that first half. They look good. Offense sputtered so much. I still, for the life of me, do not understand how you had the number 1 rusher in the SEC this year, and he barely touches the ball. And in this game, when he's touched the ball, he's averaging 5 yards a carry. That means if you touch the ball twice, 5 yards carry, you're getting first downs. And eventually, that is going to lead to bigger and bigger games. I understand you want to air the ball out. I understand that you want to get downfield, get Cam Coleman involved, get Keandre Lambert Smith involved, get Fairweather involved, get all these guys involved. But it got to start with your best player, meaning Javaris Hunter. You know what I'm saying? The guy that's been here through it all as a backup and as a starter. So, you've gotta learn your personnel, man. You gotta, let him take over. And you go off of that. You know what I'm saying? Let the run. He's such a great running back. Let him open up the pass for you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was running that thing. He was towing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just think they put the decisions in Peyton Thorne's hand too many times. Do I think he's a terrible quarterback? No. Do I think he's a great quarterback? No. I think he's a I quarterback. He's very I. Like, he can throw the ball downfield. He can make some big plays every now and again. But he just doesn't have the consistency, and his decision making is questionable at times. So I just think that it allowed him to take over too much. You know what I'm saying? There was some times where he should have handed the ball off, in my opinion, and he decided to try to take it upfield, and then he would run sideways instead of getting upfield. So why would you not give it to your fast, strong running back? I only saw him go to the ground twice. Everything else, he was literally standing up in the middle of the pile as they were trying to push him back. Those were down by whistle calls, not tackles. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, why are you not handing him the ball? And then on the other side with Alabama, although I hate Bama, Jalen Milroe, if he was more consistent, he'd be a Heisman candidate. But he played lights out. He got out of some trouble. Our line, they got a lot of pressure on him, which I was surprised because we haven't had a whole lot of that this year. They just couldn't finish the job on a lot of that. So hats off to them. Everything started and stopped with Jalen Milroe on Saturday. So yeah, I don't know where we go from here for next year because we don't have a bowl game this year. We only won 5 games, so yeah, just we'll see what kind of recruit class we have. But
Yeah. Just being an outsider watching the game, I definitely felt like there was some big moments where Auburn could have capitalized, especially on the defense played very well in my opinion. Especially creating turnovers, but the offense just could not make scores out of those. So, have I been a critic of Peyton Thorne this year? Absolutely. Am I glad to see Auburn fans kind of being able to now start to move from him? Absolutely. I'm genuinely excited to see what Deuce Knight brings to the table next season, and just seeing where this offense starts to move. Now, I definitely have been seeing some fans, and I've had conversation with some Auburn fans about just you know as far as what direction they feel with coach
Hugh Freeze.
with Freeze, and they're kind of like indifferent, like they're just like it's kind of his fault or it's kind of Peyton Thorne's fault. And I want to hear from you as as an Auburn fan that's on this podcast. What can you share with other Auburn fans, or can you shed some type of light as far as if it's Coach Freeze's, problem to deal with, or was it mishaps from Peyton Thorne this season? Like,
Um,
is head coach Freeze a bad
no,
coach? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't
Like,
think he's a
where?
bad coach. I mean, he went into a bad situation. Like, he didn't. I'm gonna be as candid as possible, and people may say what they want, but this is how I feel. I'm gonna name other coaches and say their situations that they came into, and then I'm gonna name Hugh Freeze's. Kirby Smart. The year before he got there, I believe Georgia was a 10-win team with Mark Richt, if I'm not mistaken. Then he turns the team around in 2 years, and they continue to progress, and then they eventually get to the championship, and then they lose, and then they go on. Let me see who else. Let's see. Texas coach. They weren't super bad, had super talent. Boosters were behind them, everything like that, and they slowly turned that team around. Not the first year. Second year, you started seeing a little bit, but not much. Third year, you started seeing Texas become Texas. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. First year, not so great. Got the backing behind the boosters. It's year two. Yeah. Third, fourth year, that's when you started seeing Ole Miss start to dominate a little bit. So I'm saying that to say Hugh Freeze came in, boosters not quite behind him. We were terrible the 2 previous years. We had the number 50 and number 60 draft class. I mean, not draft class, recruit class. And then you come into that situation where it's bad. You have to get that, recoup all of that, get players in. Then, everybody's been seeing the previous Auburn, so nobody wants to transfer to Auburn. So it's hard getting people to transfer here. So now you've got to really recruit. So everybody on our team was young this year. Everybody, except for the quarterback and the running back. We started the most freshmen out of anybody in college football this year. So I say that to say, be patient, have time. Next year, if you want to have this conversation and y'all are mad, all the fans are mad about Hugh Freeze and everything like that, I can understand that. That's year 3. There's 3 years where he's had 2 recruit classes and another one coming in. So I can understand. Do I think it's all on him what happened this season? No. Peyton Thorne, for him to been playing football that long at the college level and be a coach's son, should have been better, more decisive, making the right reads, and humble enough not to try to take the game over in his own hands when you have a running back like Jacquez Hunter. Because a lot of times during the season, he would not hand it off because he was trying to do too much because of the pressure he felt. Now, I admire the fact that he was able to deal with that pressure because Auburn fans, when they don't like you, they're going to let you know completely. So I think it was a mixture of both of them. I personally think that Hugh Freeze needs to give the play calling to an offensive coordinator so that way he can just focus on being a head coach. I think that you get a good offensive coordinator that is really good, that's innovative, that can make some plays or whatever. And get this offense to be more fun because for the people that's saying that they're tired of, they think that he's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I mean, think of all the players that we've got coming in. We've got top 10 recruit class coming in for next year. And the year after that, as of right now, we have a top 10 recruiting class. So the future looks good. And we've looked good in many situations. Every game that we've lost this year, we were ahead at some point. We just made bad decisions, whether it be a fumble or interception. I mean, because it's not all on Peyton. Some of those games, there were fumbles that were made that changed the whole momentum of the game, or whatever, or routes being ran half step, routes ran half step that forced the interception. I mean, so everything is not on him, and then Freeze. did not. One thing I say that he did not do. Game plan was excellent until they figured out that game plan. He did not make adjustments very well. That is the only thing that I would say I completely put on him. He did not make adjustments very well. Second half, we didn't come out looking better or different. We were the same thing, and he just kind of stuck to his guns. It felt like, but I think future's bright. Defense is good, which is a good sign to see because usually it's the opposite for Auburn. Like the offense looks good, but the defense doesn't. You know, um, but like the DBs, I like the DBs. I think they're young, they're good, they're hungry. So I mean, the future I think is bright for Auburn. I think Hugh Freeze just needs to hire that one offensive coordinator that can and a quarterback coach. I definitely think he needs a quarterback coach that can, because you and I both know that could be the difference between, like, I mean, prime example
Yeah,
with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow wasn't the same Joe Burrow the year before he got that quarterback coach to come in and help him out. So, yeah, I mean, I think Freeze gets the quarterback out the transfer portal and has Deuce Knight as well. So we'll
yeah,
see. But that's my take on Hugh Freeze and Peyton Thorne.
yeah. Well, last bit of um a little tidbit I want to add. Auburn is not a bad place to play. Again, I've commended Auburn on this podcast. I've said how much Auburn is a fun place to play. It's a fun environment. People put money into Auburn. People go watch Auburn play football. It's not a bad place. But when Auburn gets hot, I'm telling you now, it's going to be a different environment coming through Auburn, Alabama, and I'm going to be first to say it. It's going to be a different environment coming through Auburn, Alabama. I don't know when, but I'm telling you now, let them get the right personnel and right.
Man, look, we
Um,
one or two
yeah,
pieces away, in my opinion. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? One or two
oh yeah.
pieces away. And I think we can take it that much further.
I believe so. I believe so. Last thing I do want to add before we move over to our conference championship talk real quick. Miami is this close. Matter of fact, not even Miami. Mario Cristobal, this close, brother. This close. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me take the pen out. You see how close that is? That's pretty close, right?
Yep.
I will fly to Miami myself. That team is too talented, brother. Too talented, and that defense has been a liability all season. I don't think they'll get that nod, brother. I don't think they'll get that 12-team nod. I
Nah,
really don't.
just based off of the defense. Offense,
Yeah,
I can't stress this enough. It's rare that I say this. But offense, even if they do wrong, they do no wrong in my eyes. Cause you literally, like, think about the games that they have lost. You
yeah.
literally have to score 30, 40 points a game to beat these teams because your defense is so putrid. So I can't get mad at Cam Ward either. Like, you literally have to be great every play. And if
Mm-hmm.
every drive is not a score drive, you're in jeopardy of losing. Like, what other team has to deal with that? So I don't think they get a nod either. I mean, I would love to see Cam Ward in the playoffs, but not with this defense that he has. Because
Yes.
I mean, first round exit. You get a good offense, you get luck of the draw, you get a good offense that you play against. You can count it.
Yeah.
Like you get,
All
you can
right.
count it. But that's
Breaking right here on the College Shots podcast right now. I have the top 12 teams in my hand. Are you ready? Number 1, of course, Oregon. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Penn State. Number 4, Notre Dame. Number 5, Georgia. Number 6, Ohio State. Number 7, Tennessee. Number 8, SMU. Number 9, Indiana. Number 10, Boise State. Number 11, Alabama. Number 12, Miami.
Wow. So they
Wow.
snuck in by the hair on their chin.
Right, just literally right when we called it. Right when we called it. And I mean they found a way to get in. But honestly, there was just no way. I genuinely don't think there was any type of way you could leave out a 10-2 team. I mean, 2 losses. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't. But at the same time, this is now going to show Miami, if you don't get it done, you out. Like, and now okay, so that leaves. I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. I am very incorrect. So looking here now, so Oregon will be the 1 seed, Texas will be the 2 seed, SMU will be the 3 seed, Boise will be the 4 seed, Penn State 5 seed, 6 seed is Notre Dame, 7 seed Georgia, 8 seed is Ohio State, 9 seed is Tennessee, 10 Indiana, 11 Miami. I mean, I'm sorry, 11 Alabama, and 12 would have been Arizona State. So I'm guessing. So would that mean that Miami and
They're in the same conference
so
with
if
SMU, so
yeah, but I'm saying though, if I'm correct, Miami would have been one of the first teams out. But I'm trying to think who else would have been the other team that would have been one of the first teams out, because they usually put 2 teams as the first 2 teams out. So it would have to have been Miami and maybe Ole Miss. I don't
yeah,
think I don't
I
know.
don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know, but I know
because they
Miami would
usually.
be
So I'm
the
on.
first one out.
Yeah, I'm on 3 right now. Let me go to ESPN real quick. So yeah, I was right. So Miami and Ole Miss are the first 2 teams out. Okay. So yeah, so that's what we're looking at
Right.
right
I
now.
mean, that's actually understandable because of how Miami's
Mm-hmm.
defense is, and it sucks because
Yeah.
the offense has played so great.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
hey, Jackson.
Oh, there she
Hey,
is.
what you got? Nice. You got a Hot Wheel?
So that so that just answered that pretty much just answered our question about Alabama, because I was gonna bring the question up as far as, would they be a team that could possibly
Let
sneak
me
into
tell
the
you this is
playoffs?
why I would say that they would have, and they are, with the showing that they
Yeah.
put on against Auburn in the Iron Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Had that been
Yeah.
a different story, or had they struggled, or had it been close, or had we won, that would have been it. But
Yeah.
the teams, like for instance, it's that thing of y'all say quality win and stuff like that, right? When you lose to a team, when you first lose to a team, oh, it's the craziest thing, especially if it's a unranked team. Just hold on, let go real quick. But oh, okay. So when you play a team, you lose to a team, and they upset you, or if you upset them, then the rest of the teams that they play against is based off of how they play as well. Prime example: Georgia Tech beat Florida State in the beginning of the season. They turned top 10, right? Then after that, that win just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller because Florida State got worse and worse and worse and worse. So on the flip side, when you lose to a team like Vandy this year, Vandy showed that they were a good team after that. Now, don't get me wrong, they weren't a playoff team, but they were in the picture at some point for a SEC championship, and they were consistent. Um, and then the next 2 teams that they and Bama lost to Tennessee. Tennessee showed
Mm-hmm.
that they were a good team, so that strengthened the argument that was a good loss. That was a solid loss. That was a quality loss or a quality win or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the argument for Bama. That the teams that they got beat by were good teams because they went on to beat other teams that were good too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean that will be why they would end. If they were anything higher than 11, then I would be upset. But I could see 11. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, and like I said, I had people that were genuinely asking me, and I'm like, is it a possibility? Yes, but is it likely? No. So this just answered a lot of questions. Um, that hey, you're in.
Right.
You got snubbed last year. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't get snubbed, but you lost. You lost to Michigan. So now this is your chance to really, you're gonna face a tough Notre Dame team. So hopefully you get the job done and continue your fight for a championship with first year head coach. So yeah, so let's do these conference championship previews. All right, of course we got to start off. Georgia, Texas. You got a rematch from earlier this season. A lot of people wanted to see this matchup. You're getting this matchup. Me and you have pretty much have been saying the same thing all season. It's pretty unlikely that you lose to a team twice. So now Georgia has to come to realization like, hey, we're not going to be facing the same Texas teams
Right.
twice in a row, So as for Texas, where do you see they could possibly get the advantage in order to beat Texas? I mean, in order to beat Georgia a second
Okay.
time?
So for this time, so you lost at home. It's already
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful, right? And then the fashion that you lost by. So the advantage for them, to me, is just okay. Well, this is for our season. Like, you know what I'm saying? That game, whether you won or lost, I mean, yeah, if you won, it helped your case, but you lost, it's not gonna really hurt your case as much because Georgia is highly ranked and it's Georgia. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you lose to Georgia and you basically beat everybody else, you pretty much good. But this time, you lose, that changes the whole shape of everything, scope of everything. You know what I'm saying? And now you kind of know what Georgia could throw at you and where they're trying to attack you, or whatever. So now you can clean up those things. So I think they need to run the ball more. I think they need to. I personally think run the ball more. And protect Ewers when he's in that pocket. Don't let them linebackers and linemen go off like they did last game. Like they're coming. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and take that hit and extend their play for Ewers. Like you know what I'm saying? So everybody has to be on one accord. I think the receivers getting open and things like that. The DBs they didn't play bad last game. It's unfortunate. It's rare. I would die on that hill. Like it's rare that your quarterback throws 3 picks and y'all still end up winning the game. You know what I'm saying? So the DBs played great. I just think they need to continue to play great. They got to get more pressure on. They got to make Beck beat you from the pocket. Make him beat you from the pocket and rattle his cage a little bit. Make him shake. Make him a squeamish. That's when Beck struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And if he runs, you got the speed to keep up with that. If he's got to run 1,000,005 times, I'm living with that. I'm living
Yeah.
with that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's uncomfortable at that point. You know what I'm saying? And I have that speed to match that because they do. But that's why I see it, making Becca uncomfortable. The DBs keep doing what they're doing, and I think that Texas needs to run the ball more and stopping the run because that was the downfall for them last game. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't think ETN is playing in the conference championship.
Yeah, no, he won't be. Not to my
So
knowledge.
there's
But
that. Even not to discredit the running back, the freshman running back that you guys have, or any of the other ones, but ETN is the one that went off that game in particular. Beck struggled with the 3 picks. So so you bottle up the run and make Beck beat you out of the pocket. I think they have a big time chance because their DBs are stout. So.
Yeah. And and listen, I made the mistake the first time around picking Texas to beat Georgia. Even as a Georgia fan, I had to come from a realistic standpoint. And I'll be honest here. Me personally, I'm not gonna make the second. I'm not gonna make the mistake a second time around. I will be picking Georgia to win this game. I genuinely think again now that they have Texas and they've seen Texas and seen what they have. Um, I think they should come away with this game if they are true to themselves. They play Georgia football, Georgia brand football, and they just have to come together. Honestly, they just have to come together. There cannot be any mistakes on either side of the ball. You have to play Georgia brand style of football to win this game. And so, yeah, I also, I mean, granted, it is in our backyard, but I still look at this game as a neutral game. So, Texas is going to travel. It's the SEC, so
Yeah,
I don't look
it's
at any game as
I hate
being
when they use the term their
yeah.
backyard. It literally is split. Like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
LSU fans
Yeah,
or whoever it is,
I don't, yeah, I don't ever see why a team doesn't travel well. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
And then all the
they're,
SEC teams, for the most part, are
hmm
within traveling distance. I mean, I know Texas
yeah,
is pretty far from Georgia, but it's still they're still gonna
they're
come
gonna travel.
because Texas got the
They-
money to send their players there if they want to. You know what I'm saying? So, but
absolutely,
I got Texas
absolutely.
for that game.
All right. Well, Big Ten, Oregon, Penn State, a game that is very highly rated. Again, your number one Oregon, against a pretty good um threat with Penn State. I haven't really gotten a chance to see much of Penn State. I'll be honest. But I from what I have seen, I've seen Drew Aller has been making some positive strides this season. Of course, their running back duo with if I'm not mistaken, is Singleton and forgive me, I'm not remembering the other guy's name right now, but this will definitely be a matchup for the Big Ten. Like this is a Big Ten championship. It's crazy saying that because Oregon was literally just in the Pac-12 last season. So, but they have definitely earned their right to be in the Big Ten championship. So I have a feeling who you gonna take on this one.
I got Penn. I
Okay,
got Penn. With
I would like to see
with the
Penn. I
with the
think Penn
upset.
State.
With the upset.
Yeah, I would like to see Penn State
Because it
get the
doesn't
win.
hurt
Um,
Oregon at all, honestly.
right,
Because
it
they'll be their
doesn't. I
first
mean, they've
loss.
already
So
yeah they've already pretty much done what they need to do to
right.
still make a place in the playoffs. But one thing I will say is there is a kid on Oregon, and this is going to absolutely blow your mind when I tell you this. There's a kid on Oregon's team that goes by the name of Mateo Uiagalelei. He is the
Oh
brother of DJ.
yeah.
Absolutely
Oh no,
menace to society.
yeah. I've seen him play. He's a dog.
So yeah, so I think Penn State comes away with the win, but keep that brother in hindsight.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Because
Look out for
James
him.
Franklin wants to save his job.
Yeah,
He will definitely win this conference right now.
yeah, yep, absolutely, absolutely. All right, let me make an apology real quick before I give off this next championship. This is the ACC championship, and this entire season we have been pushing for a Miami and Clemson conference championship. Little have we been knowing, we have been discrediting and undermining the work that Kevin Jennings, Brashard Smith, and SMU have been putting in this season, and they have punched their ticket in the
No,
first
but no, but
season.
what did we say? We said the ACC was wide open.
Absolutely,
we said that.
we did.
We said we
But
would
we
like
never,
to see Clemson, Miami.
right? But we never gave the credit that SMU was due, and they have been actually putting in work.
Because they haven't proved it up until now. We haven't seen it up until now.
I'm just saying, SMU was. I mean, especially again, and we've had a conversation about this. Like, it kind of just shows how the ACC is. Like, I ain't gonna say too much about the ACC.
Don't get me wrong.
But for
SMU is good. SMU is good, but to me, because it was up for grabs until last week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, last week before last, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Now, don't get me wrong. They played their butts off, and their record reflects it. But it wasn't a sure thing until about a week or two.
Yeah. But they were still in the running. I mean, I think that's the thing that we kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we did not catch that. So I definitely want to apologize for that. Us not catching that, before now.
Yeah.
But again, I said it at the beginning of the season. The ACC is up for grabs. It is up for grabs. And who grabbed it? The team that just got there. So it is literally up for. It was literally up for grabs.
I would genuinely like to see SMU get the win. I genuinely like to see
and I would love that, because then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
Absolutely. All right, last one. Arizona State versus Iowa State. First off, let's that running back from Arizona State, Cameron Scatterbo. Oh, that's a dangerous man. That is a dangerous man. I would love to see Arizona State get that W.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for Arizona State on that one.
Yeah, to not only hold their place in the playoffs, but just, man, that would be a great win for them to get a conference championship. So I think we're good on that, man. I think we are squared away with that. Yeah. So I'm good if you are, brother.
I'm wonderful.
Hey, let's get it, man. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another phenomenal episode of the College Couch Podcast. We cannot thank you guys enough for your continued love and support, for continuing to rock with us. Continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, if you can't watch us on YouTube, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that. Like, we're everywhere. You can listen or watch however you want to. But yeah, as always, thank y'all. We cannot thank you guys enough, and we hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, spending time with their families as well. Stackz, my brother. Feel like I haven't said this in a minute. Take us home.
Hey man, well, happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. And sayonara college football regular season. We gonna be back for the conference championships and the playoffs. But in the meantime, between times, you got a player that needs some shining. Woman, man, don't matter. They balling out. They doing their thing. Let us know. Hit us in the inbox, the DM, whatever you call it. Hit Javaris on his personal page. Hit me on my personal page. Or just hit the College Couch Podcast page. And we respond. So we would love to give that athlete some shine. Talk about them. Bring them on. Have them share their story and how they feel about whatever it is. But in the meantime, between time, tell a friend, tell a their cousin, their auntie, them. College Couch Podcast, where's that? But we got bills to pay. We out of here.
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta go get it.